Gibby's complete history, timeline, lore, trilogy cut of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie destroyed me. I was being injected with so much remnant and memories and stories, and then a time code where a random voice told me I wouldn't die, and suddenly every scattered tangent put themselves together. And it put me back together. I think whatever the time code where Jeremy got the bite of 87 right in his frontal lobe imprinted on me, and it took a bite of my frontal lobe too. It's a masterpiece. You guys are sitting here waiting for the sequel when the entire trilogy's been made. It's over. But Gibby going 9 hours into his FNAFsterpiece was a lobe-altering experience.
In Stage 01, Golden Freddy and Golden Bonnie, or Spring Bonnie and Spring Freddy, or Spring Bonnie and Fredbear, whatever. They have so many names.
And it's made me reflect on my decade-long past decade of secrets and lore, and how I don't regret not seeing FNAF in theaters, and risked being trapped in a room with 14-year-olds throwing their popcorn and themselves at Freddy. I'm gonna react to my most memorable Five Nights at Freddy's moments as their own timeline, and then make it into my own trilogy of secrets and lore as we go along. Everything that was left behind, until I secretly abducted old me in an attempt to bring him back and save this random child that I'm responsible for from being forgotten forever, so he could be remade into whatever state this is. What? These two timelines begin at the same time, but we get two different endings. One of them you won't want to end, and the other might seem like it never will. Which one's the real ending? Is there a fake good ending? Is there a good bad ending? Have I been someone else this entire time? Well, I was right at home when FNAF hit, but now the home, that is my mind, is not right. I'm not in my old nostalgic location anymore. The old one I lived in for a long time, then moved out for a couple of years, then back into, then closed down by year's end, then had to move again, and now my mind's not right. Off screen. I've been living in a timeline and doing nothing with it. My old videos are going to be a presentation of my understanding of the lore that I will attempt to guide you through. Moments which might make it into the secret Ryan the Remake timeline playlist that will, as long as it remains nowhere near done, not have anything removed or be concerning or confusing forever, I hope. Back when it was 14-year-old me, and it was just games being made and released early. And now it's 24-year-old me, with the new movie being made, that also released early. October 27th, the day it was supposed to release. October 26th, one day before. My birthday, but one day before it was supposed to release. The day it released. The day it released a day early, because Scott caught them. August 8th, 2014, Five Nights at Freddy's released, and 5 days later, on August 13th, the day after Markiplier played it, I was at Robin's house when it was going around that it was the scariest game ever made.
When I found this video, or this game, I thought it was the most creepiest thing ever.
So before I knew I would have to go downstairs and have dinner, they were having stir fry, there's lore, I recorded it that day and took the room from Robin, which I would make a regular thing to expect from me for the rest of the year. Robin's room was stolen. Robin's room was stolen. Definitely Robin's room was stolen. I hope I have 3 examples. I'm recording this in the worst way.
Gotta conserve power. Alright, good night.
Hey! I was disabling all my frickin' cameras!
And just like the burning question I had in my mind right before I died in my Mother 3 playthrough and then eventually googled, which was how to fucking kill a strawberry slime, I got no results for
I was disabling all my frickin' cameras!
Either, because nobody told me anything. But now that I just googled it, Scott himself has stated the kitchen has no image because he wanted an area that was left to the players in our imagination. Obviously that only gives us the kitchen's explanation, but maybe it's not a kitchen. Maybe every room is not really the room they really are. Maybe one of them's a kitchen, or maybe one of them's not. Or there was never a kitchen at all, or looking at the cameras all night makes you hallucinate like me.
Things start getting real tonight. Hey, listen, I had an idea. If you happen to get caught and want to avoid getting stuffed into a Freddy suit, try playing dead. You know, go limp. Then there's a chance that maybe they'll think that you're an empty costume instead.
Maybe this moment suggests that canonically, a part of me died on night 3, but was rebuilt between cuts to beat the rest of the night. And maybe what was left of Ryan left behind for the next decade could have made up the Ryan that beat the game and realized everything, saving himself from this video I'm recording right now.
It's me. Don't worry, it's just me. Now it's time to party. Dead.
But that's not what we got. We got this video I'm recording right now.
It's been a bad night here for me. I'm kind of glad that I recorded my messages for you when I did. I always wondered what was in all those empty heads back there. You know,
Wait, what?
oh no.
Phone Guy just died. Now stuff is getting real. For the tone of the game, obviously, this is meant to ramp up tension for the final nights of the game. Now it's actually hard. Now the tutorial guy is dead. The wise old master has died, and now you must rise above him.
When I got to night 4, I didn't realize that Phone Guy died recording his message. I thought it was just messing with me, so I didn't think it was real, and I moved on.
Okay. I don't know if that was supposed to happen. Well, that was a thing that just happened.
But a dozen more attempts later, I could not. And I never made it to see if Phone Guy lived, or that he even died at all.
You're still there. Okay. Oh! Ah! What are you?
But in 2 months, I definitely wouldn't have to worry about that anymore, because just 2 months later, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 dropped, and this game was so shocking that it made prequels cool again. It held the title of my favorite game trailer for 9 years and probably forever, and now that it's been 9 years, probably forever. Quick side note on why it's my favorite, please. It begins with children singing London Bridge as the screen pans down a dark hallway to an old, motionless Bonnie sitting down with its face ripped off. Dead. Then the children stop singing, and one red light flickers in Bonnie, not dead, before the screen goes black, and a phone rings in the darkness, and we meet Phone Guy again.
Hello? Hello? Well, if you're hearing this, then chances are you've made a very poor career choice.
Yes, and it's my favorite very poor career choice. It showcases Chica, Freddy, Foxy. Forgotten, dismantled, deactivated, and we see our new office and new rooms we have to monitor in this new building. Oh good, those old animatronics before are dead. Redesigned, reactivated, malfunctioning. The only way I can describe the music is that it can barely contain itself. Like, even the cello's getting ready to snatch a kid. I rest my case.
Okay, everything is scaring the crap out of me.
I'll be honest, I never liked that puppet thing. It's always thinking, and it can go anywhere.
He says it can go anywhere. That basically means it can float and fly.
I don't think the Freddy mask will fool us, so just don't forget the music box.
Small side note on Mangle, and then we'll get back to the puppet.
Wait! There's someone here gonna kill me. Okay, you hung up. Okay.
Fortunately, the mangle wasn't as bad as my screaming would make you expect, but it would only be because I, unfortunately, interrupted the puppet lore and missed it while I was screaming about the mangle while Phone Guy was giving me puppet lore.
I never liked that puppet thing. It's always thinking, and it can go anywhere. I don't think...
What is that? What is that? That's a Foxy, I think.
The music box.
Hey, dude.
Anyway,
Dude.
I'm sure it won't be a problem. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Wait!
FNAF 2 is considered the hardest in the series because at some points you need to react fast enough, within a fraction of a second to put your mask on. Funnily enough, FNAF 2 is actually the easiest to beat on console because putting your mask up is as easy as hitting a button, and there's nothing stopping you from pressing the button over and over as you wind the music box, thus always having perfect timing if you need to put the mask on.
Danger, yeah, I know that's danger. It's Freddy. That's frickin' Freddy. Or does that mean I'm gonna die?
I should have been killed and stuffed by the puppet in a suit or something. For the many fractions of many more seconds I disregarded the puppet's beauty sleep for.
Yeah! Yay!
I did not have a console with me, so I guess you could say it spared me. It did not spare me on night 2.
Ah! The music box! The music box!
Three goddamn times the music box was forgotten about, and they were all of my deaths.
Music box! God damn it!
I guess some things are better left forgotten, for now. And then in one of the mini games you get a chance to play it when you die. You take cake to the children, and a crying child outside gets killed by Purple Guy before driving away. And the puppet kills me again.
I knew I was dead.
I mean, both me and the Purple Guy were either a purple guy or wearing purple. We both never made it to the Bite of 87 after night 5. Purple Guy met the end of his kidnapping adventures in this building after they were tied back to Freddy's, but got away with it because they couldn't connect it to him. And I met the end of my security guard adventures after my FNAF 2 videos were tied back to me, but got away with it because just 4 months later, everybody moved on to Five Nights at Freddy's 3.
I think going home and doing crack would be a little bit better than seeing things in this place.
You cannot lose on night 1. The one and only animatronic that can kill you, Golden Bonnie, is not in the building yet.
You might be wondering why I'm shitting on old me with funny Gibby FNAF clips before my initial reactions of the gameplay, and that's because there really is no gameplay. You use audio lures to keep Spring-Locked Bonnie away, and you get video and audio errors and hallucinations occasionally.
Oh, he's right there! Come on, play the audio! Quick! Quick! Scare you away!
There is nothing to do.
But I was way too ready to see the new building and animatronics that could kill you for me to realize that most of them will not. But that Springtrap is part of this rare gang of creatures where you actually get to be real, and so are we, but we're the weakest one. And we die from a stupid jump scare.
And stay there!
And when Gibby's complete timeline lore came out, I was way too ready to see how much he would shit on FNAF 3, to realize that it was the key to unlock the finale of our trilogy, Trilogy 1 out of 3, which I did not unlock. Maybe when I realized Springtrap's jump scare somehow kills me, and not getting a single ending, so I kept seeing Springtrap's jump scare somehow kill me, is when my mind made up my mind that this was the end. FNAF 3 would be the third and final murder victim. And game. No sequel trilogy. Except sequel trilogy. Except this was me continuing off of the original trilogy that I made up, and not the real one. Where Phone Guy never died, the cello from FNAF 2's trailer may have snatched a child, prequels were cool again, nobody lost their frontal lobe privileges, Springtrap and his jump scare somehow kills you, and Purple Guy gets crushed in a spring-locked suit in this mini-game behind a room in this building that was boarded up to eventually be found and brought out decades later so he could kill me before I could learn he was Purple Guy at all. I guess that's the canon ending for me in my goddamn trilogy.
A fitting end to this murdering psychopath.
Except, I couldn't even get close to that ending if I tried because of what I say in Five Nights at Freddy's 4.
Who is it you think you see?
Gotta listen. Which begins an entirely new trilogy. Let's begin.
MatPat's video about FNAF 2 attempted to solve the identity of the Purple Guy. Keep in mind at this point in the story, there are arguably 6 characters. There's Mike, the guard from the first game, Jeremy, the guard from the second game, Fritz, the Night 7 guard, the original owner of Fredbear's Family Diner, Purple Guy, and Phone Guy. Matt concluded that Purple Guy is Phone Guy. Purple Guy is not Phone Guy. The murderer was in fact a completely different character. He was the murderer, and that's it. I don't think this was a bad theory at the time, but it started a habit that formed in the community of trying to solve mysteries both before all the evidence is available, and also using every single piece of evidence.
And it seems that the Purple Guy is the Phone Guy.
I know it hurts, guys. Well, remember when Michael got scooped in the scooping room? I mean, we're not at that game yet. And then Baby tells him,
"You won't die. You won't die. You won't die."
guys, it's gonna be okay. You won't die. You will not die. You do not die.
What? I'm still alive! Go back!
Get it? Because I also never told you that Michael was going to be my name before someone suggested Ryan right after I was born in the hospital. So what lore did old Ryan get from FNAF 4 to add to his complete FNAF timeline? Well, there was this party for a child the minigames were setting up in the background. I would have made it to if I didn't give up with 3 days between me and the end. But I mean, if I was the child in the minigames and knew the fate of the child in the minigames, I'd want 3 days between me and the end too. I'm really keeping everybody's frontal lobes and dream theories in their heads and out of sight where they belong because of me. Defeating nightmares getting into my bedroom was too hard, which made every easy lore-filled minigame after that too incomplete. So it was the FNAF game where nothing happens, I guess. No bite. What in the ludo-narrative dissonance is this? In one of the many tangents Gibby goes on in his 9-hour-long FNAF tangent, he talks about how the secrets and lore could have been solved within the first 3 games, until Scott Cawthon tried luring the community with FNAF 4 to help them get closer, which was closer to the origin of the security guard. And the community took that and tried luring Scott Cawthon closer to the origin of all of his games are dreams, except the child in the FNAF 4 minigames getting chomped right into a coma so he could dream up FNAF 1, 2, 3, and some of 4. I miss the old trilogy already. What in the new sequel, prequel, trilogy, remake is going on here? And this is when it gets tricky, because next is FNAF World. And you guys remember my reaction to that game, right? It's better than any timeline my rotting phone guy is purple guy brain would have made up.
Which would kill you.
Eventually whatever I've been going on forever about was gonna end, and the next time it cut in this video was gonna cut to sister location, and I mean, there's gonna be a segment. I'm just worried about it, because when we get to it, I don't think there's a time code where the rest of my frontal lobe makes any real connections to any almost agreed upon lore, even whenever you feel like I might. There's nothing going on up there, which is why I'm attempting to keep it from creeping closer, but also why I have to make it stop, because I'm running out of attempts. This is the cut.
Hey guys, my name is Rybro, and welcome to Five Nights at Freddy's sister location. I was counting down the hours last night, and my calculations were it was going to release at 3, but it was a little off. Scott just couldn't keep his promise of not releasing the game early, so he's 3 hours early. And a couple months back, I binge watched Game Theory to find out like the story and everything, and I think Scott's a bit confused too.
Wow. Okay. Number 1, congratulations. Number 2, since old Ryan's second favorite game in the series was the Blame game, let's bring up his understanding of the lore going into this game, whether it would have been released early or not, in his promise to try and understand anything.
Except that's totally not what happened.
And also, it hasn't been 9 years or forever yet, so old Ryan's favorite is still FNAF 2.
Your new career promises challenge, intrigue, and endless janitorial opportunities. Please enter your name as seen above the keypad. This cannot be changed later. It seems that you had some trouble with the keypad. I see what you were trying to type, and I will auto-correct it for you. One moment. Welcome, Eggs Benedict.
Whoa, hold on there, fella. The guy we're playing as is named Mike. So the theory that Fritz Smith is Mike Schmidt and also the security guard in FNAF 3, and that all of them are also Foxy Bro, only came about after this game. The evidence was there all along, but the idea wasn't sparked in anyone's mind until we realized that the series might have reoccurring characters.
Using the keypad below, please select a new companion voice.
Oh, of course!
For male, press 1. For female, press 2. It seems that you had some trouble with the keypad. I see what you were
Poke you
trying
in
to
the eye.
type, and I will
Mike.
correct it for you.
Is your name Mike?
Thank you for choosing.
Yeah, I got this Mike lore down. In the most polarizingly confusing Mike lore drop, it took me only seconds to never have to talk about Mike, which really I don't, because obviously Mike played the tiniest piece of shit role in the entire game as the narrator, and nobody else. And not just the narrator at the beginning, but every single one after.
A dead body was found in this vent once? Okay, so not that funny, but it's a story.
Mike! Stop talking.
Mike is so talented, he would never get anybody killed. Unfortunately, this Ryan would, because he is not, as long as anyone can mean himself.
I wanna restart something!
Yeah, so Baby is programmed to dispense ice cream if there's only ever one child around, and when they go up to eat the ice cream, Baby snatches them. And she did it to a young girl. and I think we can see where that's going. After a minigame where you take out Freddy's power module, your shift is over, so you go back through Funtime Auditorium.
You have been provided with a flash beacon. Use it if you need to get your bearings and to ensure you don't bump into... Please enjoy the rest of your descent.
I will. I'm talking to these guys. And I think the girl is Mr. Afton's daughter. So, I love researching story, but I never tell any of it to you guys because it's just like the I don't know of it.
I think that's the most redeemable line I could ever try to cheat with. Because if we dig the tiniest piece of shit deeper, I don't know how many lore-filled secrets I could have really made up and been keeping you in the dark from, other than the secret of secretly getting the lore right. Well, it's come back to shit on you now, hasn't it? It always does. Wrong game.
Back in Mike's apartment, as the music for The Immortal and the Restless plays, we see him look at himself in the mirror. He opens his eyes to reveal that Ennard is inside him. If this is Mike Schmidt, and Ennard is inside him, does that mean that you play as Ennard in FNAF 1? His eyes were purple, so does that mean that Ennard is Purple Guy?
I knew it! Fucking goddammit. I knew we were Ennard inside Mike in FNAF 1. This last piece of evidence confirms why it's so obvious, but made him so brilliant. Ennard and Scott Coffin. Which is why the animatronics see us as a metal endoskeleton without his costume on. I knew we were Ennard inside Mike in FNAF 1. I was gonna get there, you guys. By myself. And it was gonna be so good. But remember, I had so many other lore-filled secrets that I was keeping away in my mind and you in the dark from. Wherever they could fit, because I was full of shit also. Which I guess just made it such a dense space that it blocked my ability from getting any of them out.
No.
Which satisfyingly brings us to the real ending of the Ryan the Remake FNAF trilogy cut of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I don't think it's gotten any more real here. It was almost cancelled due to leaks, not from this building, or the nostalgic building, or the one in between, but from me and my bite, which might have just been a hallucination. Whatever this state I'm in just might be one too, and if it is, that it's the strongest one ever made, and please make it stop. This decade turned these old videos that could have been fond memories of all of our childhoods, not just for me, into pretty much old enough to fall into lost media territory. For everyone, except for me. It's the most impressive and faithfully thorough research I've ever seen someone suffer through. Gibby's video. I mean, we both did suffer. As far back as my memory can go, I never believed in dream theory. I never hit rock bottom like you might have predicted. Only because I never realized that all these games are just stories of reoccurring characters in a massive narrative until Gibby's video in 2023. I just thought every new game was bringing new animatronics in and old ones back, even harder to beat, in a building that would obviously shut down eventually, with the same old beloved casual secret minigame murderer purple guy we see get away with when we make it to the end of a night or die and want dead. But something was wrong with me. I should have been dead, but I'm not. Thank you, Gibby, for being my Matt Pat and saving this random child you were never responsible for. And you guys for getting this random child to 340 subscribers.